Number 7, we have the original Die Hard Trilogy game, again released on the PS1 and PlayStation, and you can see that this is another 3D game, and 3D games were a staple diet of the PlayStation of course, but this time we get to play as John McClane in the Die Hard movies, and to begin with you have to find the weapons, and once you have the weapons you can get cracking demolishing all the bad guys on that level. We are roaming around, we can also rescue a number of hostages, and those hostages will get in our way if we aren't very careful.
Let him get away.
Absolutely tons of levels, and they start very easy in the basement of the complex, and we will find a lift which takes us up to the next level, and all we have to do is to remove all the bad guys on that level and not destroy any of the hostages, and once we destroy all of the bad guys we'll have a certain amount of time to reach the exit, and having done so we will ascend onto the next level. Levels progress, they will get harder and you'll have to make more use of your skills, i.e. rolling and jumping, and all your armaments like different intoxicants and smoke bombs and hand grenades and things that you can pick up off those enemies. Locations from the movie are in here, including abandoned floors and technical floors, warehouse floors, storage rooms, and even offices, as you can see, and even the very roof is covered in this game, so you will be rescuing people and you will be destroying lots of enemies. On certain levels you will also find a hostage situation highlighted by a purple dot on the radar, and if you manage to destroy the enemies surrounding that purple dot then you will gain the extra life. Of course there are bosses as well, and destroying those bosses is simply a matter of hanging around waiting for the opportune moment. As you destroy the enemies, more enemies will appear from the elevator. As the carnage piles up and the body count piles up, it's easier to get more of a respect for this, and the levels seem to go on and get better and better, and sometimes you will find yourself in a tight spot and under pressure all of the way through it. Requiring us to jump and even shoot our way through the enemies in an attempt to save that health. And there are precious few health packs dotted around, but you have to explore, and yet again this game gives just the right amount of exploring, just the right amount of action, and it's not too hard and it's very fun. Wasn't enough, we also get 2 more games on the very same disc. Yes, we get Die Hard 2, which is a little bit like Virtual Cop, only this time it's a little bit easier and sometimes a little bit more fun as well. indestructible environments. Yes, you can blow away everything on the level if you fire enough firepower into it, and if you fire towards those coke machines, you will gain some more energy. So with a very vast array of guns on offer, it's possible to get far and have a great time. The game has a great sense of humour, and I really do love the one-liners popping out of John McClane. "Sorry pal," and all the rest of it is hilarious in the heat of battle, and sometimes you can't help laughing when you're supposed to be trying to concentrate. All of these games aren't without their own share of bugs, and having to reload and run out of ammo is particularly annoying, but apart from that, I find this experience really helps the Die Hard feeling, and it's a free game on the same disc with the immense Die Hard original game, so I absolutely love it as a freebie, and you can't ask for more. Unbelievably, we did get more because this is the Die Hard Trilogy, so we also get Die Hard with a Vengeance as well. And even though this is certainly not the best graphic driving game on the PS1, it retains that sense of humour. It is amazing to drive around these streets full of people and cars and somehow get away with it. The driving on offer, once mastered, is just about good enough to drive around all these 90-degree corners with some degree of accuracy. And the overall feeling of the game really does feel like the interactive movie, and yes, you can use turbos as well, which is very exciting, and it means that we have to race against time to blow up those bombs before the whole city decides to blow up. And yes, we'll have to try to avoid those pedestrians, but unfortunately a few get caught in our crossfire and have to be wasted. A massive number of driving levels on offer, and they change from between the city and the park, and so we will be travelling all around New York City in our attempt to blow up and defuse all these bombs. Make matters harder, we'll also have to blow up a bomb car every now and again, and those are pretty difficult, and in the main it's basically a race against time, and you only have enough time if you collect all those time tokens, so you'll have to memorise the best way to do it.
Here we go again. It's late time.
Once again, the music is very memorable, and this being an interactive movie, it is memorable and it is fun, and I have spent weeks playing this game, and I've never completed all of the game. I've certainly completed the first section of the Die Hard, and I've never completed the driving one, even though I have huge respect for it. These races get tougher and tougher, it's very difficult, and so you'll have to memorise the best way, but I do recommend this game even for a quick laugh, because sometimes mowing down innocent pedestrians is sometimes quite therapeutic. the end it gives you a score based on the body count and also the citizens saved and the damage and things like that, and I really love those aspects in this game. Always wanted to blow up dinosaurs with very heavy firepower, then this is definitely the game for you. At number 6 we have Dino Crisis 2, which was released on the PlayStation and has some of the best 3D graphics I've ever seen.
So, this is the Cretaceous way of welcoming guests, huh?
In Dino Crisis 2, all you have to do is to move from room to room and destroy any animals that you find within it. And you will gain all the best guns later on, but for now all the best blasters are waiting to be discovered. What you have to do is to move from room to room quickly, and then you will get a combo if you manage to kill the next dinosaur within the time limit. And if you have a high combo before you reach the next room, then that will be multiplied for a bonus score. Like many PlayStation RPGs, you'll find various elements of menus hidden behind the scenery, and those menus are definitely helpful to memorize to get your way around those, because you will need the medipacks. And you will see that even though we have the medipacks, I'm flashing red, which means I'm bleeding, so even though we do have the full health, you'll have to use the hemostat to stop the bleeding, otherwise you'll bleed to death. We also have a primary weapon and a secondary weapon which we can use at any point, and it's surprising there is depth in this game for a ridiculously easy shooter, and I have completed this game on a number of occasions. It does get a little bit harder later on, but it's certainly a great feeling to get a great combo result moving from one area to the other and then taking on all those dinosaurs all over again. Music is very cinematic and very memorable, and even the storyline and the plot line of this game is memorable. The dinosaurs are brilliant, and of course you can take those on with the most tremendous weapons. But you cannot treat the game too lightly, and you have to be ready to use the medipacks and to swap weapons and to use whatever is available, and sometimes even to run away. In each section of the game you'll find a terminal where you can buy new weapons and recharge your ammo supply, and also buy medikits and things like that. And we can even upgrade the size of our magazines, which means we can hold as much ammo as we can afford, and the affordance of those is basically how many dinosaurs that we've destroyed. I also find this game has amazing cutscenes, and the movie weaves into this game seamlessly, which is absolutely brilliant. Yes, this is very much a B-movie action adventure, and just like all B-movies, sometimes it's a little bit cheesy, and this thing is a throwback to maybe 1950s movies, with maybe aliens thrown in as well. and the range of firepower is impressive, and as it would be, given the fact that this is a Dino Blaster, it really would require the best weapons, including lasers and anti-tank guns later on. And of course the environments are very detailed and the atmosphere is amazing, so it is very fun and very playable. There are 4 huge areas in the game, including 3 islands. Between the islands we'll have to defeat a number of enemies, and the enemies do pile up as we move through the game. Being an arcade shooter, it never stops being fun, and it's always fun to get that combo rating up whilst blasting dinosaurs. Again, there is just the right amount of exploration, and the puzzles aren't too hard, although there are a few puzzles in the game, and it virtually holds the player's hand to solve those. Really, it's the action sequences which make the player hold their breath, and you cannot afford to make any mistakes, and returning to a checkpoint means we can try these levels over and over again. The player will get used to the sound of a dinosaur's footprints, and their movements will definitely alert the player to turn around and blow those guys up. You can see with the anti-tank gun, it literally blows those off the screen with some nice blood and gore effects. And of course the landscapes are yet again very memorable, and it's easy to just pause and investigate the scenery every now and again whilst you're trying to destroy things which died at least 64 million years ago. Dino Crisis 2 isn't just about walking around rooms, sometimes it is walking around open areas as well, in this case using flares to target bombs onto the heads of dinosaurs. Interactive movie, it really doesn't come more tense than this sometimes, and this is a movie that they couldn't make because it would be too expensive. It is full of set pieces and arcade feel, and it doesn't always hold the player's hand, so they can't always guarantee to win. The storyline may be a little cheesy, and so is the acting, but then again, that isn't a major drawback in these top 10 games, as long as the playability is there, and the story really does get weaved into itself, and the action sequences are terrific. Number 5 is Road Rash 3D by Electronic Arts, again released on the PlayStation 1. And sometimes these games are released on very different platforms, although this one tends to look pretty similar. It is a very fast driving game, of course, and this really does extend from most driving games. In fact, it's a very arcadey game, and as long as the player can drive, it's absolutely fun, and it can get even hilarious later on. The aim of each each race is to appear in the top 3, hopefully, of 20 other riders, and in the very centre we can see our current position, which is 3rd, and it really doesn't give the player an easy time at the front, and it always gives the player a time to catch up from the back. So it means we can have a great time, and it's never a dull. Ride our bike over 5 different landscapes, including the urban areas and the suburban areas, and also on the coast as well, and occasionally we'll get to move between one and the other. The action is always packed, and there's even forks, and if you choose the right way you'll survive, and if you choose the wrong way of course you will die, and sometimes the forks take us down one-way streets and dead ends, which we'll have to do at full speed. It is possible to completely write the bike off, but hopefully travelling down these canyons, all we need to do is to drive for the road, and of course we also have to avoid the traffic, all the pedestrians, all the obstacles as well, and sometimes it's only just possible to get that first position. As soon as I start to play this game, I have a huge smile on my face all the way through it, and you may think that things like this are annoying, but on the contrary, when we win the races we are given a clip and a cutscene, and in this case we are playing as a lady, so we get to see the lady's cutscene. We are a winner, which is always a great feeling. This tremendous soundtrack in the background is licensed music, and of course the images in the background look hand-drawn, and most of those actually look like Ravi Abbott. But you can see it's great presentation, and we can even fall off our bike, but it's great to aim for those pedestrians and have a great time as we try to make our way through to the head of that pack. There are 3 seasons on offer and 3 speeds of bike, and by far the greatest thing is when you get the best bikes at the end and you can career down these streets at over 100 kilometers per hour, and of course you can't release that fire button, you cannot stop, you cannot slow down, because those other riders are breathing just behind us, and so if we slow down we'll get overtaken, and that means this game is a thrill ride all the way through it. Like many racers, this game is quite fair, and if we try to slow down or stop for an item, we will be able to slow down for it, and that will avoid a crash, so we don't have to crash all of the time, which is great. It means that sometimes we can rebound off things and still make it to that line. All you have to do is to hang behind a rider and he will eventually fall off and crash, and every single rider in this game falls off and crashes, which is again great to see. All you have to do is to scoop up those rewards as long as you can stay on the road. Apart from the breathtaking scenery, these ridiculously great controls, this amazingly fun playability, the great courses, the great sound effects, the great music, this game is simply fun on a stick, and you will have amazing fun with it. You have to avoid everything, and the only thing you can't do is crash into the water, and that means it's life over. But apart from that, I think this game is great. It's simply an interactive movie which doesn't take itself too seriously, and you can see that even though these cutscenes are rather cheesy, it still provides a level of atmosphere which makes this game fun and enjoyable.